We're back with another amazing interview. This is Santa, awesome! Okay, so today we are doing another interview we are back with another interview. So the man we're interviewing today, his channel is not even a year old yet, and it has surpassed an amazing sub count. He has put together one of the biggest collaborative pieces of animal related YouTube shenanigans known in history. If you don't know who we're on about by now, perhaps letting you know that he quite likes a little bit of rum, probably more so than Mr. Captain Jack Sparrow himself, and probably consumes a wee bit more. Anyhow, I'm pretty sure you know exactly who we're on about. Let's go have a chat with Bug Realm Sam. We are recording. It is me, the Invertabarian, and of course today we are joined by
Sam from Bug Realms.
Sam from Bug Realms, the elusive Sam. We've been trying to get this interview done for quite some time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. It's been something of a challenge for both of us. So we're going to just crack on with questions and shenanigans and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually coming up almost for the 1 year celebratory of Bug Realms channel. It was the 30th of December 2017. You started your channel. It is blown up. You've hit your 2K subs. So I'm pretty sure anybody watching this is probably going to know exactly who you are by now, but just on the off chance that there's somebody, a hermit living under a rock somewhere that doesn't know who you are, briefly summarize your channel and yourself and anything else you want. Go for it.
Okay, yeah, so I decided to start a channel based on inverts, mostly for my original love of phasmids or stick insects. I also kind of wanted to share my knowledge on that because there's a lot less of that content on YouTube. And then, of course, my things broadened, my love for inverts broadened more and more and more. And eventually I was allowed to keep the tarantulas, which has now got me absolutely hooked. So, yeah, I try and do weird and wonderful, and that's future plans too. I like to keep it weird and wonderful. So
you're certainly one of the first channels I'm aware of that focused on the phasmid side of things. As you mentioned, it was certainly a sort of gap in the market for that. There's not a lot of people have your knowledge or experience or share it with YouTube. So when you thought about coming to YouTube, obviously you have done a video about your reasonings for doing YouTube, and Ian Tarantula touched upon how that inspired him as well, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Not to go into that because the video's there if people want to watch it, that's absolutely fine. But were there any major influences already on YouTube that kind of gave you drive to want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, the person I probably originally watched was Tarantula Dan, and I don't know why I even clicked on it, because it was a tarantula based video, and at the time it was a no-go. They weren't allowed in my house, but the curiosity got the better of me, and it so he kind of started that off for me. And then when I was looking into more interesting things, I mean, I've told you this before, but I don't know if anyone else knows, you had the water scorpion before, and I was trying to look into some. I saw some on Bugs UK before, and that's how I came across your channel. So I thought, wow, there are people doing some like random inverts here. And it kind of just grew from there. So, I mean, yourself is an influence to me. Dan was an influence to me. And something about Tarantula Addict's voice. I kind of thought, I'll never sound as good as that man, but I want to get on the camera. So, yeah.
I think Tarantula Dan certainly got a lot to answer for within this.
Yes, yeah, he seems to have inspired a lot.
He has inspired a lot of people, and yeah, I love that water scorpion, and you know, hopefully one day, like yourself, I tried to focus on things that perhaps weren't so prevalent on YouTube. You know, there's a lot of tarantulas, so I tried to kind of steer away from that a wee bit, a lot like yourself. So you mentioned Tarantula Dan, and obviously myself, and for anyone looking, who would you recommend people go and look up right now and subscribe to?
Is this everyone as a whole, generally?
It's open. Just if you, who you would recommend if you thought 3 channels people would really enjoy, sit and watch them, regardless of the content. Your pick. 3.
Okay. Mark's Tarantulas is a big one for me. Absolutely love him. I love his content, and he's a nice guy all round. But yeah, for like really good quality video quality, audio quality of a channel that's not massive, but really worth watching, I would say to go for him. Obviously, we've got people like the Dark Den, has to be mentioned. Really, I mean, he's been another inspiration. A little bit later than Dan was to me, but obviously he's globally known, and his content's globally known. And I just think that he's grown a lot as a keeper. And you know what? I think for people that are in it for less than comedy reasons and less than full entertainment reasons, I'd quite like to suggest Dave from Eerie Arachnids, just for you, if you want to sit there and actually learn a lot. I think it's really, really handy for those, especially newer keepers, that just want to learn.
Total encyclopedia of knowledge. And if you're wanting a serious, he has his moments. He has some brilliant humor on his channel, but certainly he focuses on trying to share the passion, education, and knowledge he has with other people. So cannot fault him, and certainly I hope people probably already know exactly who he is. But failing that, go and check out all your recommendations. Either within that trio or out with that trio, who would you most love to do a collaboration with, and what kind of thing, if you had a thought, what would you want to do with some?
John from the Nerd Room has always been someone I want to do a full-blown collaboration with, because he has me in stitches all the time. And he's been talking to me quite a few times. Like, this is nothing set in stone, but we've talked about meeting up various times, maybe walking along the moors, doing an outdoorsy video, things like that. And that's just something that I just think it'll be great. I think the content will probably be rubbish because we'll be rambling, doing silly things. But I would just love to do some work with that guy.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched his video when he was on holiday. He was filming from up the top of a mountain somewhere, and there was grainy, crackly, rubbish footage ever, but somehow wildly entertaining. Getting a wee bit more serious, for somebody coming into the hobby, what would you say are 5 of the most important pieces of equipment somebody's going to need in this hobby?
Okay. Oh, I have to think now. So
the idea, kind of.
Yeah.
Cut you off, get hard.
Well, always something for watering. I think it's a lot easier than putting you don't want to be putting your, especially with the tarantulas, you don't always want to be putting your hand in an enclosure. So, like, I don't know what they're called. The things that they can do the misting spray, but they can also do a straight. You know, like one of these.
A squishy bottle.
One of these bad boys. I love them. Yeah.
Oh, well, yours is a bit better than mine. Okay.
You can have it as a jet, which is perfect, and you've got the misting as well, which works for various other inverts. Equipment. You need an enclosure. Let's just be honest. You can't do that. Feeding tongs or tweezers, however you want to call them, is a definite. Cork bark. I know it doesn't sound like equipment as much, but you can use it in anything, any enclosure with any invert, basically. Just stockpile it because you're never going to run out. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else.
Substrate in. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have it, haven't you?
Newspaper. So if somebody has now got their gear and they're looking at getting their first arachnid, what advice would you give to somebody that's wanting to come into the keeping of exotic pets?
Research. And I think not just written research that you're going to be. I just realised there's a glare on my screen. Sorry about that. Not just researchers in sit down and read, but I think a lot of people say, I've heard people say, watching YouTubers is not enough research. But you combine the two, that's actual people's knowledge that you have a chance to have a conversation with, as well as note taking and things that you can see on the internet. But honestly, without the research of things, you're probably not going to go far.
Dedicated groups are also very good for
certainly. Yeah.
pinpointing information to any one specific thing. So other than being a hobbyist, if same question, but to somebody that was thinking of developing their own YouTube channel.
I think what's going to be really, really important again is to watch others, but find your own niche within a niche, your own quirky way of doing something, because obviously there are some people successful, some less. That's not to say there isn't a single person that can't make it. Watch and see what you enjoy on a YouTube channel, whether it's the quality, whether it's the quantity, whether it's, you know, anything, if it's the humor, and find what works for you and adapt it into yourself and find your own niche within that niche before you start up. Because if you just start up just chatting away at a camera, like, that's not to say you won't make it, but you know, you end up just backtracking on yourself and people don't know what you're talking about. So yeah,
I've said many a time, if you go back to my very early videos, if they're even still there, I literally was filming feeding clips and like too afraid to even breathe on camera. I was so petrified.
Yeah.
So you're looking to buy your equipment, you're looking to start your own YouTube. So what suppliers would you recommend people go to in order to start building up their collection?
Okay. I would go with Portsmouth Tarantulas. Have been wonderful to me. I think they're fantastic. So Many Legs, Andy from So Many Legs, fantastic. Now, I would have said the Spider Shop, and the only reason I'm not is because most people will say that. Love them, but I want to add a little twist. So what I want to add in is actually, it's not a company per se, but it's a private seller, which is Helen Stewart. She does attend some of the shows. She's like Mantis and Stick Insect Breeder on Facebook, and she's absolutely fantastic. Wealth of knowledge.
Good. Yes, always good to have a new record. You see the same names kind of fire around there, and I'm just going to throw in the Big Bug boxes just launched for people to go and check out. So
yeah, I just realised I saw something on that.
Yeah. Okay, so what would you say are the main benefits, either personally or publicly, to doing YouTube, and the polar opposite of that, what's been the worst part or the most negative impact of being a tuber?
Okay. The positive side is the connection you make with people around the world. You know, it's being able to speak with people that you would never normally talk to. It's a fantastic, obviously, like ourselves, we're quite a close-knit group now. Not all YouTubers will have that, but it's the connections with other YouTubers as well as your subscribers and your viewers. It makes me feel fantastic anyway. And just to be able to share that knowledge with others, I just think it's brilliant to have someone looking up to you. Negative-wise, I think is probably the fact that some people out there, especially the bigger you get, and I've noticed this in really large channels, they see you more as a robot than a person. You know, they expect you to never make a mistake. They expect your content to be 100% at its best all the time, and any minor mistake you make and they hit you like a rock. And I just think it's totally unfair for some people. It doesn't matter whether you're big or small. If they notice that in you, it can really drag you down.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I had loads of really sensible questions that I wanted to ask you, such as, how do you identify if somebody is combobulated? Why is it Donald Duck when he comes out of the shower wraps a towel around himself, yet the rest of the time he doesn't wear any pants? But instead of that, I thought we'd better touch on the old Fatal Fangs malarkey.
Okay.
So I can't do this and not bring it up, of course. So what was or what is the inspiration, driving force behind it? Was it just a light switch moment went on and you thought, I've had an idea and I'm going to make this happen? Was it a gathering of information compiled together made you come up with the idea? What inspired you to create the Fatal Fangs competition?
Okay, so what inspired me the most originally was I only found this community via the tarantula tag that was done by Cap. And I noticed it on others' videos, eventually found her, she brought me into the community, and I thought, what a way to connect with people. Connection, you'll notice for me, is a big thing. And I thought, I would love to be able to do something spread around as well. But I couldn't think of anything particularly that other people may be interested in. And then, of course, I saw things like the Off the Tongs challenge between Mark's Tarantulas and Tom Moran. And I thought, you know what, although it's not necessarily off the tongs, having feedings and having it globally and bringing everyone together for a bit of fun, I thought that's got to work. I didn't expect it to get as big as it is. I thought maybe we'd get about 20 people involved, but that would have been good enough for me. But, you know, I didn't expect it to hit like it did.
It's taken off remarkably well, and I think everybody has obviously a huge thank you on behalf of everybody to you and the entire team behind it. And and obviously to the people that are watching all the competitions and taking the time to vote on a daily basis. I think we all owe a huge thanks to them because, as you made abundantly clear, without that, it doesn't work.
No.
One thing I did notice in the last comments is your presenter persona for the Fatal Fangs, the suit, the tie, could be described as a used car salesman appearance. Somebody else described it as a late night shopping channel QVC type of concept, whereby it doesn't matter what you're selling, it's tat.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that accusation?
I found it quite funny. I mean, I wasn't sure at the start if it was serious, and then I read more into it and I thought, you know what, I think these people are actually being quite serious, or at least some. But I wanted it to be cheesy. I wanted it to be amusing. I think people thought I was trying to go for the ultimate professional look, but I wouldn't be wearing a gleaming purple shirt if I was going for like ultimate professionalism. And I'd try and find somewhere with a stage. It was supposed to look staged, cheesy, and fun, but you know, because it's got so big, people expected me to be a little bit more professional about it. But we're here to have fun. Everyone taking part is here to have fun. So.
Obviously, I've got to ask. People are going to get, why didn't you ask? Why didn't you ask? So, come on, inside gossip. Who stands out for you? Who is it? You don't even have to name names, but has there been any, you can tell us if you want, but is there anyone jumping out at you just now? Any clips that that coming up over the next couple of weeks that you really think are just going to like tip it in the favour of that person? Or
yeah, I think I'm not going to give names, and the only reason for that is I don't want people to go, oh, Sam likes this person, so I'm going to vote for this person, because obviously that's something we're trying to prevent happening. But there's some good in 3 and there's some good in 4. I can't remember which one's going to be my favourite. Obviously, I've seen all the clips. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4, week 3 or 4, but there's going to be some real whoppers in those, and I think people are going to love it. Something a little bit more mixed up. So,
is there anyone that's standing out for you? In your mind, or you think, is there a channel? Is there somebody that you think has the potential to win this? You don't have to name names.
To be honest with you, I thought Winton was in for a huge chance, and I was shocked when he went. But
the results of the first week were bonkers, absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. But I'll say one more, shall I? Because he hasn't come up yet. But I think I've got some good hopes for Alan Hicken, the Spider-Man. Rather enjoyed his clip, so we'll look out for that one.
We'll keep an eye out for that one. What would be your dream for the Fatal Fangs competition? What would you love to see happen with it? How would you like to see it evolve?
Well, I have done since even before it launched, which was a little bit odd, of people go and make this a yearly thing. And I would like that, but I wouldn't like that unless it was more perfected. Obviously, this is a very trial and error run. So what I'd like to see is have us have it as fair as possible, a bit more perfected, the flaws taken out, and for it to be a yearly thing and perhaps adapt it to maybe some other inverts involved and things like that and spice it up a little bit. But I just absolutely love it to be a continuous yearly thing just for some good fun.
So it was just going to call you like the Samuel Cowell of
Yeah.
the invert world. So if they were to make a Fatal Fangs, the movie, who would play Sam Bugrealms in the Fatal Fangs, the movie?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. And we're going to have this because I happen to know you're a bit of a fan of Kevin Smith, so I think he can direct it.
Oh, yes, definitely, yeah.
If anyone doesn't know who Kevin Smith is, well, just go away. The feeling that Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Clerks, Dogma.
Yeah.
Which of Kevin Smith's characters would you say most sums up yourself?
Okay. Well,
It's not the third monster, I hope.
Oh, you know what? I don't even know because I love them all, and I don't think I'm actually like anybody at all.
You're unique.
That's too hard a question for me. I love them all.
Okay, let's get serious. We'll leave that. You can ponder on that, and if you think of an answer, you can get back to it. But moving on to something else. If you were a chunky Kit Kat, what flavour would you be? Any flavour you like. What filling of chunky Kit Kat would Sam Bugrealms be?
Mint. I'd like to be a mint Kit Kat chunky thing. But I'd be happy being any except the peanut because I'm allergic to them, and that wouldn't be good.
Oh, that would be good. I like peanuts as well. And being the great organizer I am, I've missed the question. Anyway, who cares? We'll digress back to movies. We were speaking about movies, Kevin Smith, etc. What's your favourite horror film?
I like the Conjuring series. I've always liked the Conjuring films. I don't even know why. Somebody sat there and said, "You tell me why." I couldn't even answer you. I think, well, I watched one of them in the cinema once that finished at midnight. And when I walked home, I was absolutely petrified. I saw these two people in the distance. And for some reason, I thought there was something wrong with them. I found out later they were just an elderly couple who had been to the pub.
Uh-huh.
At the time, it was quite frightening, the way they were staggering around. And yeah.
There was something wrong with them. They were inebriated.
Yes, that's true.
If you could wedgie any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Hitler. Because who doesn't want to do that?
Funnily enough, when I was looking for just ridiculously stupid questions, that was one of them, and that was the example I gave. Don't ask. The thing, yeah. You wouldn't believe if somebody was to look at my Google history, honestly. This is actually a serious question, you'll be glad to know.
Okay.
This is a would you rather. One day on the Lord Howe Island with complete access to any area of the island you wanted. Obviously, the elusive stick insect is there, and I know how much that would mean to you. So one day, being able to research your little heart away on the Lord Howe Island, or 3 days working with Sir David Attenborough, or any other major figure. I picked him because who's not been influenced by Sir David Attenborough?
Oh my goodness, that is rough.
It's a good one, isn't it?
It is. Because neither opportunities will ever come up again. So I think I would work with David Attenborough. I would love to. I'd love to just meet the man. So, you know, maybe that will get me recognised enough and I can buy my own boat and go to the Lord Howe Island in the future. But you never know, do you?
Enough. And we sail our way into your final question. And it is nothing more than, if quizzes are quizzical, what are tests?
I nearly fell for that.
And on that note, Mr. Sam Bugrealms, we are done.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're more than welcome. I hope you've enjoyed your time here. I almost thought, yeah. Thank you ever so much. And obviously, on behalf of everybody watching this, be it watchers, competitors, and everyone else, obviously, Fatal Fangs has been a huge thing for everybody. It's small and large channels alike. And obviously, we have communicated a lot. And hopefully we'll, regardless of the fact you're, one of these big hoity-toity channels now, hopefully our friendship will continue. Is what I'm trying. Happy days. And on that note, we shall leave people pondering just what is a test in multiple sense. Thank you ever so much, Sam. Please do, if you're not already, obviously subscribe to Bug Realms. You'd be foolish if you're not already, but you never know. Please do go check out Bug Realms. And all that's left for me to say is a bye-bye from me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And a bye-bye from him.
Now it's bye-bye.
Hold off. So, of course, a huge thank you there to Sam of Bug Realms. Thank you for taking the time to join us and have a little chat. Of course, I'm pretty sure you're all aware exactly who he is, but as mentioned, if not, go check out his channel and subscribe. You will not regret it. Also, I'm pretty sure by now you know exactly what the Fatal Fangs competition is, but if you don't, go and have a look. And of course, vote for your favourite feeding clip, not your favourite YouTuber, not your family member, not your friend, the clip that you think is better than its opponents. So, that is all that's really left to say on that. A huge thank you once again, and thank you for joining us and watching this. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe. For me, the comments are one of the reasons I do this. I love reading the comments and the feedback and trying to adapt and change. And yeah, it's amazing. So take care of yourselves. Thank you very much, and it's a goodbye from me. Bye. 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 Bye.